Hey guys, Matt here, and today I'm taking a look at a new disc from a company I've always been a fan of, Yikun Disc Golf, and that is their fairly new driver, the Foo. With the Foo, we have this very cool gentleman with a spear running. It's a fairway driver, numbers are 7502, and it's based on the legend of Quafu. Apparently he was a giant who was trying to eat the sun. You can see him chasing the sun here, and eventually died unsuccessful. He killed himself trying to get the sun. I guess what they're trying to say is never give up on your dreams, no matter how crazy they are. I have two of their Phoenix line Foos here. Got the stock stamp. I've got this really cool iguana one from Infinite Disc, iguana, chameleon, some kind of cool lizard. They both feel really nice, got a little bit of dome. And if you check out the profile, it's got a really rounded profile, very blunt, a lot of dome, so the glide should be good. Now, 7502 is a pretty iconic flight number that is shared with the Innova Teebird, one of the most popular discs of all time. So I've got two different Teebirds here. I've got this Champion Glow Teebird from 2014 that's thrown a little bit, but it's still pretty overstable. And then I've actually got the Barela Teebird3, which is a slight bit faster, but it's also less stable. And oftentimes Yikun discs are slightly less stable than their flight number, so I thought that might be a good comparison in case it is not too faithful to the original Champion Teebird there. Let's give these guys some throws and see what we think. Okay, so on a stock hyzer backhand, the Foo is pretty impressive. The first one flipped up, turned a little bit, had a mild fade and was right around 365 feet. And the other one was right around 350 with a very similar flight pattern. The Teebirds, I threw a little bit low, but I threw them how I would on the course. They were 325 and 345 respectively. And that's honestly about the distance I'm trying to get out of a Teebird most of the time. I can push them further, but what I'm going for with this type of shot is usually in between 300 to 375 and very accurate, hitting a line pretty tight. The forehand, the Foo, I felt like I couldn't put quite as much pop on it because they had a lot of turn on the backhand. So they were 300 and 330, but usable lines. I flipped the one over that only went 300, a little bit more than I would have liked, but I think it is usable forehand, especially if you don't throw that hard. I didn't put much effort on them. I would say 50% or less, and they still went 300 feet. Very straight and controllable. So that was very nice, and the Teebirds were in between 320 and 340. And again, I don't throw these forehand, but they did pretty well, especially the glow one. I really like that line. So now I've got a little bit of a head crosswind. I'm gonna see how they hold up to that. Okay, so despite being batted around by the headwind just a touch and knocked down by the tailwind, or with the crosswind, They all went between 325 and 345. The Running Man Foo was the longest, but showed some of the most turn, along with the Barela Teebird. And the Glow Champ Teebird was the most sturdy and had the most fade. So now I'm going to try to throw them on a slightly higher, more distance-oriented line and see if I can't push them past the 350, 360 mark I've been getting to at the top end. After spending some time with the Foo, there's a lot to like. The large dome and blunt rim are very comfortable for a backhand grip and give it really nice forward glide. And if you like a little bit worn in Teebird or a little bit of turn to your fairway, it's definitely a great option. If you like that really hard zero of a fresh Champion or a Glow Teebird, it's not going to have that right away. It's got a little bit of gentle turn, but good glide and steady fade at, medium to moderate arm speeds. I got on that last round this Foo out to 360. Again, the longest throw of the day was the Barela Teebird3. That was 375. And the White Champion one was consistently the most overstable and least glidey. But I have to say, I actually throw these for that 300 to 370 shot a lot, and I like the dependability. And if I could not find the Teebirds I like, I feel like the Foo would be a good, slightly turny alternative. But for newer players, this could be a great do-it-all driver for you. I didn't like it quite as much forehand. The big dome makes it a little bit less comfortable for my style of grip, but it actually performed pretty well. It flipped up, held that line for a long time, and with very, very little effort went over 300 feet. So I gotta say that it was impressive in that regard, and the glide is real. It's a real 5. A lot of times people throw a high glide number on there, but this one actually earns it. So good job to the guys at Yikun. They've come a long way from their first assortment of 4 or 5 discs. I think it was almost 10 years ago that I first heard of them coming into the market with the Yao, the Dae, the Gi, and the Wings. And a lot of their new offerings are really, really nice. So the plastic feels really good. It's the best feeling Phoenix plastic I've had. It's a little bit gummy, but not super soft. And overall, really like it. I also wanted to note that the Barela Teebird is a little bit less stable than I thought. You could almost use that in like a stag or turnover spot if you wanted to, with very little wear on it. I've thrown this one about a dozen times, and it'll flip up and ride pretty nicely on a hyzer. So I like that one. It's definitely not a BPT bird either. So good job to Innova, good job to Yikun, good job to Yikun. Thank you guys for watching, and have a great day.